All right. Good morning. It's Wednesday. If you're joining me live, if you're not joining me live, maybe it's Tuesday, maybe it's Thursday, maybe it's, I don't know. But welcome to Coffee Chats with Katie. This is a space that I have created for you to learn more about living in alignment, living your true purpose, living in your magic. So on this coffee chat, we're going to talk about just about everything, right? We're going to talk about transformation and what it means to be in alignment in your spiritual self, getting your chakras balanced and all that fun stuff. We'll talk about your physical health and making sure you're vibing high. We talk about business. Oh, so many good topics. Whatever I feel like is my download for the week is what we're going to talk about. And so today I'm going to do something a little bit different. And if you are eventually listening to this when I get it in a podcast, you may want to actually watch it live. So if you're not attending live, you can always go to YouTube, Magic with Katie /coffee chats to catch up on this one or maybe some of my previous episodes. But welcome everyone. Today we're going to talk about treating ourselves like queens, ladies and gentlemen. If you are joining us, you got to treat yourself like a king, right? And so today, we're actually going to dive into some of my rituals, and I think this might end up being a 1 or a 2-part series or a 2 or 3-part series because there's a lot of things that I have started doing over the years when I started my wellness journey until now that are setting me up for success every single day, not just in transformation and raising my vibe, but living in my optimal state of health. And so I want to start to share some of those little routines and some of those little things that I do every day that are really setting that foundation for me to have success. And so today we're actually going to dive in to skincare. I know you're like, Katie, what? Skincare? Yes, we're going to dive into skincare, and I am going to go through my ritual every single morning and every single night for you. There will be a download that goes with this that you can catch later on in the links. I don't have it quite yet ready for you, but as soon as I do, I will be posting it in the comments. You can find it again on the Magic with Katie /coffee chats. Okay, so grab your brew, whether that's coffee, whether that's water, whether that's tea, whether that's something else. I don't know, whatever it is for you, grab it, sit a spell with me, and let's talk about rituals. So as I'm going through, please make sure you're asking your questions. If you are in a live audience, I would love to take your questions and I would love to share some of my experience with you. And I want to make sure that you all have clarity and you go away from this adding one thing to your daily routine. So before we actually get started, I am going to put on a mask, okay? So as you can see, I have no makeup on, no nothing on. And one of the things that I get asked a lot about is what I do with my skin, how I keep my skin in tip-top shape. And you might be wondering, if you've joined me on the last couple of episodes, I've been all about transformation and diving down deep into the layers of our spiritual growth. I've been diving into the moon and all the cosmos and things like that. And I've kind of taken a whole 360, 180, whatever you want to say, degree angle from this, and I've changed it up a little bit this week. And that's because we can't have emotional healing without physical healing, and we can't have physical healing without emotional healing. That's something you're going to hear me say over and over and over again if you join me on these weekly chats. And so today I'm going to dive into what we put on ourselves, because many times as women, especially, because that's usually my core audience, is we don't treat ourselves like queens. We don't see ourselves as the queen of our own queendom. Think about that. Are you treating yourself daily like the queen of your queendom? Or are you running around ragged and a hot mess and all over the place? What I notice is when I gather women together in multiple spaces, whether that be with a doTERRA essential oil event, whether that's one of my spiritual gatherings, whether it's one of my just hanging out with friends on the ballpark or on the ball field or at a get together in town, what I notice is women, we don't take care of ourselves and we're running around frazzled. We're trying to take care of the kids. We have no boundaries in place. We have no routines, no rituals. And not only is that affecting our physical, emotional, spiritual health, but it's also starting to affect our children, because children operate in the zone of energy. That was a juicy one. Children operate in the zone of energy. So if your being, if your soul, if you're not grounded, if you're not aligned, and you're running around like that, chances are your kids are acting out. And they're acting out in a way where they are, maybe they're reacting to situations, maybe they're acting out with temper tantrums, things like that. They could be acting out in a way where they're clinging to you a lot. Maybe you can't get them out of your bed, or you can't get them to take their naps or whatever, because they're operating in that zone of energy. And so when we can show up and treat ourselves like a queen, then everything else will fall into place. Because can a queen run her kingdom if she's not taking care of herself? No, she was surrounded by support. She was surrounded by maids. She was surrounded by all of these other things. And so we have to do that as well. And I think a lot of times we do our facials and our skincare and our eating based on wanting to look a certain way for somebody else. There was a juicy nugget. We want to look a certain way for somebody else. Or we are eating a certain way because we want to fit into a bikini to impress somebody else. Because maybe if I fit into that bikini, I'm going to find the man of my dreams. Or maybe my husband will look at me a little bit differently than he has been lately. Or maybe I'll look like all the other neighborhood moms if I could just be a little bit skinnier. Right? That's a big one for women. Or maybe I am taking care of my skin because I don't want to look old. Okay, because I want to keep up. I want to look like the young lady in the office, not the older one in the office. I am telling you right now, ladies, there is so much wisdom with age. I am going into my 42nd year and I absolutely freaking love it. I feel better now than I did in my 20s and my 30s. I feel like I finally have my shit figured out, even though I know I still have more to figure out because we're in a never-ending process. But there is this truth. We have to take care of ourselves. And Instagram, I love you over here. I have you set up on the side and I focus in on my Zoom that's set up because this is where the recording is at that you can catch all later. So, okay. So what I'm going to do right now is I am actually going to put on this beautiful mud mask because I am focusing in on my skin health. I want skin that glows and is radiant because that makes me feel sexy and beautiful. Okay? Not for anybody else. I do it for myself. Because I am a queen, and if I feel good, guess what? Everybody else around me will feel good. Plus, I want to nourish my skin. I want to honor this beautiful body that I was given. We were all given our body, and are we taking care of it, right? Are we honoring the fact that we were given this beautiful body? Are we abusing it? Because we don't have self-worth. Where are we at? Okay. So what I'm going to do is, okay, so this morning I've been traveling a lot. We've had just little here and there's, not any airline travel or anything like that. But I've been traveling, and this weekend we've had baseball. My son is in baseball, and he just won the state championship for Iowa for his division, which is really, really cool and exciting. But we've had a lot of baseball games the last couple of weekends, and a lot of our inner skin health actually is coming from our gut. Remember I said we we're going to have to do a couple parts to this. We're not going to talk about gut health today. We're just going to throw it out there that it's needed. Okay. And I was not eating as well. We're traveling, we're on baseball, no matter how much, we're limited in options, things like that. And so my gut health wasn't as well as it needed to be. And I wasn't hydrating as much. And so my skin starts to show it. Plus, I'm sitting out in the elements all the time. I'm protecting my skin with sunscreen and things like that. But my skin still needs a little nourishment, and it still needs a little bit of love. And I want to honor that, and I want to take care of it. Okay. So here's the reality though, is that everything we put onto our skin is absorbed into our system, okay? And the principle or the ideal behind transformation, whether it's spiritual, physical, whatever we're looking at, is that we want to create flow in our body. And if we can create flow in our body, everything can process through. Our emotions can process through. Our foods can be absorbed because our body is in that optimal state of absorption and healing and doing the magical dance that our bodies do. So, oh, excuse me. So if we're putting toxins and crap onto our skin is the largest filtering of the body, and it goes like this. Oh, I'm going to have to take a drink of my water. I don't know what happened there. So our skin is the largest organ of our body, and all those toxins are absorbed. And a lot of the products on the market, unfortunately, they have a lot of stuff in them that is not optimal for our skin or our health. They go in, they cause disruptions. Women on the level, they're causing a lot of disruptions on our hormonal level. It's making it almost impossible for our hormones to balance. They are getting in and causing xenoestrogens, which are, toxins in our body, or hormones in our body that are only caused by outside sources. And so when we're inundating ourselves with all of these products, it's really, really, really difficult for our body to do the dance. So when we're talking about skin health, we want to make sure that we're nourishing and we're loving it with the products. And if you're following me along, I love doTERRA. I'm one of the top leaders in that company, and I would use these products even if I was not a top leader because of how amazing they are. Up until I discovered doTERRA, I had always had really sensitive skin. Different skin would make products would make my eyes get big and bulgy. They would get really icky, like bloodshot, puffy eyes if I was using the wrong products on my skin. That included makeup as well. I always had really problematic skin. When I was in my teen years, I had a lot of acne, but still, as I was going into my adult years, my skin wasn't that clean. And I can tell you that I probably have the best skin of my life right now because I started using products. And I had tried everything. I had tried over-the-counter products. I had tried, top line spa products and things like that. And I wanted something natural, and this has done the trick. So what I just put on was this mud mask. Okay. So what I do is I do this a couple of times a week, maybe once or twice a week. A lot of times I actually do it when I'm taking a soak in the bathtub because, again, I'm treating myself like a queen. What did the queens do? They stayed in the bathtub. I think I'm talking about queens a lot today because I am so hooked on a series on Stars called The White Queen. There's The White Queen, something, I don't know. Oh my gosh, they're so good. So I'm just thinking of the queens. They would soak themselves in the baths and they would put the rose oil and all the things in because they needed to nourish their body. Okay. So a lot of times I'm actually doing this in the bath. It's super quick and easy to put on. Really, really great. Now, I want to share with you what I did before the mask is I washed my skin really well with this Virage toner. Okay, so Virage toner is an all-natural line that we have from doTERRA, and it really gets it in. I use this morning and evening. It's wonderful. It gets all your makeup off and everything. So I did this in the shower this morning. And I also did this 2-part reveal facial system. Okay, again, this is not meant for daily use. The face wash is meant for daily use, but this is meant for once a week, maybe twice a week. And I actually like to do it when I do this mask. It's like I'm giving myself this little mini facial, and it just feels so good. And it's not just the actual products that's making our skin feel good. It's that feeling of relaxation that we pampered ourselves. And I think that so many times we think we're too busy to actually stop and take care of ourselves. Or we think that to have good skin and face, we have to go and get a monthly facial. Okay. Now, am I opposed to facials every once in a while? Absolutely not. But just like if you go to a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, or whatever, or if you come to one of my energy sessions, or you do a session with me, you have to continue on. You have to have tools at home that you're using in between. You can't just go to somebody once a month and expect a turnaround. We don't have magic beans in anything. There's no magic beans. Okay, so this one, I washed my face. I'm going to tell you that sometimes if I need a little bit of extra and I really want to get down in there, I do this a lot after I've been on the baseball fields because it is you know, like the dirt's flying around and I feel like my skin needs a little extra boost of cleanse, I will use this little brush. I'm not sure what kind it is. It's a handmade brush that I found at a little store. This is basically just like a little exfoliator. It just helps get it down in. Okay, then I'm going to do this two parts. So you put this one on and you put it on your face and you rub it in, and then you add this one on top and you do that for another couple of minutes, and you put it on and then you rinse off. Okay, so I did that already in the shower. This is called Reveal. This is amazing. Again, this is going to last you forever because you're using very, very little when you're using these products. Okay. Now, I got out of the shower and I put this on. Okay, so I've got my mask on and I've actually had it on long enough. Now what this is going to do, it's got clay and different things in it. It's pulling out, it's exfoliating, it's opening up our pores. And so I'm actually just going to take my body wash cloth and I am going to rub it off now. Oh my gosh, I wish you all could like feel my skin, because once you get this off, it is so amazing. Okay, so we've got this, so good. And again, I do this like maybe once or twice a week. And remember, I'm going to have a download for you. I just don't have it quite ready. It's been crazy with summer. Talk about crazy routines. Are any of you all like all over the place this summer because you've got things going on? I find that during the summer, the routines are even more important because my kids get so off. It's like up my nose. I'm not trying to pick my boogers or anything. Okay, so I've got it all washed off. I'm not even going to dry this off because I don't need to. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Barrage toner. Okay, this is a spray-on toner. It's just going to kind of set it all in like that. You can also use this as an after sun spray, and you can also use it as a way to set your makeup. Okay, now I'm going to tell you a couple of different things. In the morning, my next step would be to put on this Barrage. Okay, and then this is a serum. It's a hydrating serum. It's gonna keep your skin nice and moist. A lot of people will be like, "Ooh, I don't want greasy skin." Moist and well hydrated skin actually ages slower. Okay, so I'll put the Barrage on and this lotion, and I'm gonna do that in just a second. But because we're on here, I want to show you what I do at night. So I have this little microderm roller. You can get these on Amazon. I'll link you guys up to all of this. This will be on the handout that you get later on, but this is our microderm roller. It's just a little roller and it has like little tiny needles in it. Okay. And it just opens up. So then when you put your serums on, it's even more wonderful. Now, if you're just getting started, I don't want you doing this daily. In fact, I only do it every other day or so. I don't do it all of the time. And it's going to just open up. So you're just going to take your time and you're going to roll it around. If you've never done this before, I only recommend doing it maybe once, twice a week, maybe when you do that mask, because it could cause a little bit too much redness. Remember, with anything, we don't want to go, we want to go a little bit slower. Okay, so you're going to do that. You're going to go down. When you're doing skincare, you always want to go down. Did you guys know I had a stint with a beauty company a long time ago? I think I was in college. So whatever you do to your face, you want to also do down to your neck and your chin, because ladies, this is where we get those wrinkles. Okay, so then this is so good. This is called yarrow palm, and this so good. It's a mixture of yarrow and it's a mixture of an oil that's beautiful for the skin. In ancient times, remember we're talking about queens because my mind is in the queens. The knights and the soldiers would use this for their wounds because it's so wonderful. It also promotes collagen and elasticity to allow our skin to have a better appearance, to appear with less fine lines and wrinkles and things like that. And so yarrow is really amazing. I don't put this on usually during the day. I usually only put this on at night. One of the things I'm going to tell you is it's always important to do a morning routine and an evening routine with your skincare. I learned back in my skincare makeup days, I mean, you guys, this is like 20 some years ago, that the three things that create the most signs of aging are: number one, it's going to bed with your makeup on and not a fresh face. Did you guys know that? Oh, crazy, right? That, smoking, and There was something else. I don't remember. It's probably not drinking enough water. Another thing for skin, remember gut, we're going to go into that. Okay, so this is the yarrow pom. It comes in a little dropper. So cool. I'm going to show you guys over here on Insta. So good. Okay, and you're going to take this dropper, and this is what I do. I just kind of go like this, and I get some on my face. It's blue, right? It is blue from the chamazline that comes out in the processing of the yarrow. This also has pomegranate oil in it. That's why it's called yarrow pom. So it's really, really, really nourishing and moisturizing to the face. Okay, now when I first put it on, it will look a little greasy, but after it sits for just a little bit, it won't. Again, you're gonna wanna get down on your chest area as well. I use this on a lot of other things too, like in the winter. I had some dry skin on my hands, and I would use it on that as well. You can also take this internally to help with metabolism and like a lot of other stuff. It supports our body beautifully. So I actually take it internally and externally every single day. Again, that'll be another topic of my routines throughout the day. Okay, so I got it all on my face. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the Barrage toner. Just one pump. Okay, this has got amazing essential oils that have been shown good for the skin. So if you are familiar with Immortelle, this is just a serum of Immortelle. So you're going to go like that. And then the last step would be my moisturizer. Okay, so I'm just going to pat that on like that. Don't even need to rub it in. Gonna pat it on, and oh, voila. Like, I wish you guys, I know you can probably see it, my skin, but I wish you could actually like see, like feel it, because it feels so good. You can also put some of that yarrow on your lips to make sure your lips stay nice and moisturized and plumped. Okay, so that is really my routine. Okay, so in the morning, I do not do this. I just do the serum and I do the moisturizer. And in the evening, sometimes I will also, I don't want to do that right now, I will also put on this little pot of hydrating cream. So good to get our skin nice and moisturized, okay? So these are my daily rituals with my skincare. I make sure that in the morning when I wake up, I wash my face within the first hour or so of being awake, because I want to have that fresh, clean face. Not only is it part of my ritual to make myself feel good on my face and honor my body and the skin I have, but it is also a huge part of my ritual. It's that routine. It's those things that we do daily to set ourselves up for success, right? So I wake up, I drink water, I have my coffee, I journal, I meditate, and then I do my skin. Okay, and I brush my teeth and things like that, because it's part of my routine. And when we have that set routine, humans want a box, children want a box, they want boundaries. We all want boundaries and healthy boundaries. And having a morning ritual and a morning routine is part of the boundary. I go around the house and I set my diffusers up. Okay, those are all things I do every morning because it's part of what makes me feel good. And I'm not just waking up and going pow into the day. Okay. And then in the evenings, I also do this, not just because I want my skin to look good and like get super hydrated at night when I sleep, but it's also part of that unwind, right? I'm not probably about 8, 9 o'clock. It's a little bit later now that it's summer. I get the kids are all in bed. They've done their routines because they have a routine, not necessarily a schedule where I'm like, this has to be done at this time and everything, but that routine, right? That routine that they actually crave. And so do you know that when I first had my babies, when they first came home from the hospital, I would actually, and I didn't even realize I was doing this at the time, I created a routine with them. I would, every single night, I would nurse, and then we would have bath time, and we would have playtime, and then we would have book time or whatever that looked like, and then I would nurse again, and then they would go to bed. It wasn't necessarily about the time of day, it was about establishing a routine. It's the same way with my kids today, is that we eat dinner at a certain time, and then after dinner we have a little bit of our playtime, and then we have jammies, and then we have bath time and jammies and reading time and relaxing time, because we're setting the stage for that success every day. So in the evenings I get the kids to bed, and then what I do is a lot of times I try to disconnect from like devices and things like this. A lot of times this device and my phone, I will leave them in the other room unless I'm using them for some kind of brain nourishment, listening to an audiobook or something like that. I might have to get back to a few people for my business for a little bit, but then I start that evening unwind, and it might look like a few yoga poses. It's washing my face, right? It's brushing my hair. It is putting my nighttime oils on. It's setting up my diffuser. It's making sure my kitchen is clean and setting a diffuser with lemon in my kitchen at night to set the tone, okay? So these little rituals here and there are going to set you up for so much success, more success than you probably even realize, okay? And it's these little tiny things. Do you know that when I actually do this skincare routine at night, it's less than 5 minutes? Right? When I did this in the shower, I did it as part of my shower. I maybe was in the shower an extra 5 minutes. Routines and rituals are not about creating so much overwhelm and trying to go into one thing, like all the things right away, whether it's our health or our meditation or whatever, right? That's where it's at. Like, I think when I started meditating, I started like 5 minutes every day. Now I'm up to 40. I do 20 in the morning, 20 at night. But it's about setting the stage and learning how to honor us. And a lot of times, if we're not doing it, it's because we have overwhelmed ourselves and we're trying to add on too many things at once, right? We're trying to add too many things on at once, and we just go into overwhelm because our body just can't handle it. There's only so much our human brain can handle at a time. Our human brain is actually small in comparison to the entire universe, right? It's limited. And so we have this smallness, right? So we've added too many things on at once. Or the flip side is that we aren't seeing ourselves as worthy to actually create it. We've gotten so stuck into that cycle of honoring everyone else before ourselves that we forget what it means to be the queen. We forget what it means to be the queen of our queendom and honor just ourselves. Okay. So where is it for you? Where is your worth lying today? Where is your queen? What do you need to do to start to do this? And once you start to put one thing into place, the rest will start to fall into place. And so today I wanted to, usually skincare, something like that is something that you're already doing. Make sure, but start to look at it maybe a different way. Maybe you're going to add in a few things that I talked about today. Maybe you're going to incorporate something different. Maybe you're going to start being more intentional about doing it in the morning and in the evening. But that skin, it's not just about, remember, physical healing does not happen without emotional, and emotional does not happen without physical. And that is what this is all about, because washing my face and taking care of my physical body, that's a piece of this. That's a piece of why I do this every morning and every night. But the other piece is because of my spiritual health, my emotional health, and the unwind and the practice from the day of shutting down my brain so then I can go on to get really, really good sleep at night. Because if you go from device to closing your eyes, you're probably going to most likely have really restless sleep. Okay. And so sleep is one of the top 3 components that I see to our physical, to all health. Okay. Sleep, water intake, proper nutrition. Okay. If you just change those 3 things, the amount of crazy, breakthroughs you will have is insane. And most of us are not getting enough sleep. Okay. So use this ritual to jumpstart your day and then unwind your day. Start with the skin. Start with one thing this week. If you've already got the skin mastered, maybe try adding in something else. Or like I said, just shift it to, I'm doing this because I'm honoring myself. And as you're doing it, being like, oh, I love myself so much to take this precious 5 minutes to take care of my skin, to take care of my health, to take care of whatever that looks like. Okay. So routines and rituals. Creating the space for transformation. That's what today was all about. I promise I'm going to have that download resource done for you by the end of the day today. If you're watching this on a recording live or whenever I get this up on YouTube or my podcast, I've been talking about this podcast forever. I will be turning this into a podcast. But for right now, Coffee Chats with Katie / or magicwithkatie.com/coffee chats. You can find it on YouTube under Magic with Katie. If you need help getting any of these products into your home, I'm your girl. I love to be your guide, not just on your physical, but your emotional and your spiritual transformation. I would love and be so honored to be part of your journey with you. So if you need access to any of these products, please make sure to connect with me on my website. You can send me a message wherever you see this. I usually try to make it super easy for you to connect with me. Schedule a consult, whatever. I would love to help you get hooked up with this. Love the skin you're in. Love your body. You are a queen of your queendom. And for my gentlemen, you are a king of the kingdom. And go out and have a beautiful day honoring you. Do something different in your routines and rituals. Shake it up. Look and see what you need to do so that you can create this beautiful, beautiful life that you love. So everyone, go out and make it a very, very magical, magical week. I will not be here next week. It's the 4th of July. Just one little thing. It's the 4th of July week. And so I won't be here next week. And I believe the week after I'm traveling, I'll pop in and probably do some other videos, but it'll be a couple weeks before we have Coffee with Katie. But I look forward to continuing this series on my rituals, and I'll add in some more stuff and things like that. So everyone, I love you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.